Hello guys and gals, and welcome to another episode of Upgraded Sets. I haven't made one of these in a while. Today we're going to be going over the Horazon's Splendor set. Now, as with every class, there is a set for every class. Barbarian has the IK set. Paladin has the Griswold set. Amazon has the Mavina set, and so forth and so on. Well, this is, of course, the set that they added specifically for the Warlock. Now, the Warlock set makes you glow, in case you were wondering, just like the other sets do, with the exception, of course, of the Necromancer and the Assassin set, which make you invisible and make you turn into a vampire. Now, this set's kind of OP. I'm not going to lie. Let's actually look at it piece by piece before we actually look at the full set. And we're going to talk about the set pieces and kind of how broken they are. And then we're going to talk about like them in combination with each other and so forth and so on. So first off, we have Horizon's Secrets Occult Codex, which does come with +2 Eldritch skills, 30% faster hit recovery, 20% increased chance of blocking, 29 vitality, 48 life. It does have some resistances on it, which I think rolls between, I think it's 18 to like 25 or something. So it does go up quite a bit. You can also, actually, no, the resistances is coming from the diamond that I put in there, my bad. Which I put a socket in there because, you know, it's a shield and I want to have some resistances. The book itself is decent. Eldritch skills, faster hit recovery, blocking. It's kind of designed around a melee character is what it seems like to me. Now looking at the Horizon Secrets with the pieces, so adding in pieces to the Horizon Secrets, if we add one piece, we get poison length reduced by 75%, which isn't like the most amazing thing, but it's okay. It's nice to have. If you add a second piece, you get a negative 25% enemy fire resistance, which is really good for the fire builds. If you add a third piece, you get 15 to energy, which is good for increased mana. And if you add the fourth piece, you get the full set, which does not give the piece any additional bonuses. Moving on to the other pieces, we've got the armor. The armor piece seems kind of like a worse version of Tal Rash's armor. Like it kind of has some resistances, doesn't have any magic find. It seems like it's a mediocre piece, kind of like an okay one that you'd slap on if you just had it sitting around. But I don't necessarily think it's like the most amazing thing, and there's definitely a lot that would like challenge it as a decent piece of equipment. However, starting to put on some of the pieces, it does gain additional poison resistance, which means it has cold, lightning, fire, and poison res, which is actually kind of nice. The second piece gives it nothing. The third piece gives it a 15 vitality bonus, which is kind of nice. And then the final piece gives it nothing. The armor piece is kind of disappointing. Like, it's decent. It is a decent piece of equipment, but it doesn't have any, like, really amazing bonuses. And then moving on to the helmet. The helmet has +1 to all Warlock skills. It does have a Visionary mod, which is the attack rating based on character level, which is kind of neat. 20 strength and 10 magic damage. If you put on one piece, you get increases maximum life 5%, which is pretty amazing. If you put on two pieces, you don't get anything. You put on three pieces, you do get 15 bonus strength. And then finally, when you put on the last piece, you don't get anything. All in all, that maximum life, though, in the Visionary mod, combined with the +1 skills, does make it a pretty decent little set piece. Moving on to the gloves. The gloves are 130 attack rating, 140 to 270 fire, which is kind of crazy, by the way, like absolutely insane. We also have 10% crushing blow, 14 dexterity, and 33 life. Now, by themselves, they're not exactly the most amazing things in the world. They do have some good stats, good attack rating, good fire damage. They have crushing blow. The only real problem with them is they're missing the like basic stat that you need for like all gloves with melee, which is attack speed. When you put on one additional piece, they get 30% increased attack speed, which turns them from mediocre gloves to absolutely freaking amazing gloves. A second piece gets you 7% mana leech, which means that these are now even better than they were before. And a third piece of equipment makes them dual leech, 30% increased attack speed, 10% crushing blow, 130 AR, 270 fire damage, 14 dexterity, which is also attack rating, times 5, which gives you even more attack rating, and you get life. These gloves with 2-piece set bonus or 3-piece set bonus are absolutely insane. Very, very, very good gloves. With the fourth or the final piece, they don't get any additional bonuses. Finally, we have the booties. The booties. The booties are Horazon's Legacy Mirrored Boots, and they actually have some pretty good stats on them. 30% faster run walk is amazing, 12 strength and 10 dexterity, kind of very good for stat builds. 24% magic resistance, which is a very rare stat and something that you do not often see. Cannot be frozen, which is insane, and that gives you the ability to forgo using a Raven Frost if you don't want to. And then on top of that, we also have negative 30% requirements, which is pretty much mandatory since these are in Mirrored Boots, and Mirrored Boots have a requirement of 163 strength. When you put these on and you get at least one other piece, you get a beautiful 10% faster run walk, which is absolutely amazing. They go from 30% faster run walk to 40. A second piece is going to give you nothing. The third piece is going to give you nothing, and the fourth piece is going to give you nothing. They're actually already really amazing boots, and it doesn't really matter that they don't get any more green bonuses because, honestly, I would put them on. In fact, 2-piece bonus, like if we're talking like absolute 100% what I would use in 2 pieces, I would use the boots and the gloves because the gloves are absolutely insane. Probably the best pair of gloves I've ever seen in the game. And then the boots are pretty decent. They may not technically be the best boots I've ever seen in the game or anything, but they're good enough that using them together with the gloves to get the best gloves in the game is perfectly acceptable. Now, as for the full bonus is plus 3 warlock skills, which in total, if you add up all the bonuses that the armor gives you, you get the plus 3 from the set, you get the plus 1 from the helmet, which is 4. You also get plus 2 to all tab skills. So you get plus 2 demon here. You get plus 2 eldritch here. And then I'm pretty sure you get the other one. Do you not get the other one? So you don't get the, what is it? The chaos tree. So you don't get the chaos tree technically. Because I don't see the chaos bonus on here anywhere. Which basically means you're getting 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to the demon skills and to the eldritch skills, and plus 5 to the chaos tree. You also get 350% enhanced damage. Look at my damage on Mirrored Blades, 8,507, and when I put this on, look at it go to 12k. Absolutely ridiculous, 350% off weapon damage. It has 30 to enchant. When I say it's 30 to enchant, it's an O skill. You literally get level 30 enchant, and plus the skills also affects it. Which means that now we have level 33 enchant that we can now cast on our character at any time or anybody else that's in our group. That's 308% increased attack rating and an additional 206 fire damage, which, if you calculate that included with the 270 fire damage that comes from the gloves and potentially any other fire damage sources that you could easily get yourself up to somewhere around 500 to 1,000 fire damage per strike. It also has 300 defense, which is pretty decent, 20 dexterity, which is going to give you more attack rating and more block chance, 30 energy, which is going to give you a massive amount of mana, and you also have all resistances 50, which is pretty standard for these class sets. I think every single class set has all resistances 50 on it. And then on top of that, we have 100% better chance of magic items on the full set bonus, which is really, really nice. And you could potentially socket the armor, the helmet, and the book. And you could add more magic find, or you could add other things like resistances, faster attack speed, whatever it is that you're looking for. Probably put in one of those new beautiful gems, which I think I have one sitting right here. If you guys haven't seen it yet, I do have a video on this as well. This is the new Protector Stone, so you're probably going to end up putting one of these in there if you really want to utilize this set. Probably in, well, the helmet or the armor, I would imagine. Probably not the book, because the book would be for resistances. Usually like an Umrun, something of that nature. All in all, this set is absolutely ridiculous. Can you upgrade it? The gloves cannot be upgraded. They're already elite. The Horizon Legacy's mirror boots cannot be upgraded. They're already elite. The armor can be upgraded. So if you wanted to upgrade the armor, that would upgrade to the Balrog plate, and it would gain a little bit of extra defense. Nothing too special. Demon Head is already elite, and I'm pretty sure this Occult Codex is already elite. If you wanted to upgrade the armor, which I think I'm actually not going to do that because it's going to increase the requirements by a massive degree. But that would be a Lemco and a perfect Diamondo. That would be the combination right there. And that would turn this from a russet armor with a 97 strength requirement into a Balrog armor. And I can look up the requirements for you for the Balrog armor. Bink. So the Balrog armor is going to be 517 base defense, which this has 94% enhanced. So we can go ahead and calculate that defense if you were to roll the maximum value. So 517 plus 94%, which is going to get us 1,002 is what the defense is going to go to. And then the requirement for the strength would balloon outward to 165 strength, which is probably the only reason why I wouldn't do this is the strength requirement. But if you did want to do it, it looks like you could get at least a decent amount of defense out of that plate to increase. The only real reason why I would advise against that is because the Warlock doesn't really have any good ways to enhance defense. If you were to do, like, try and do a high defense build, you need a way to enhance defense to actually make it functional. And the only way to do that, as far as I know, for this character would be something like Chilling or Frozen Armor, which would come from Fortitude, which the only way you could use that with this set would be a Fortitude weapon. Because you've already used the body slot for your set pieces. I think this set's going to be pretty popular. I think a lot of people are going to want this set. The gloves are going to be very popular. If you find the gloves, these are going to be very high trade value. If you find the boots, these are going to be really high trade value. The body armor piece is going to be okay. It's going to be a mediocre. The book is probably going to be high trade value as well because it has the negative 25% enemy fire resistance, and that's going to go really good with the Apocalypse, Ring of Fire, and Flame Wave builds. So utilizing two-piece like book and some other piece is going to be pretty common for those fire builds, especially considering you can take the book, put that fire facet in there, and you could make it even higher than negative 25%. So you could put a fire facet in there, make it 30, or you could put the really good protector fire facet in there and make it 35, which is going to be pretty insane. The helmet is kind of okay. I mean, I don't think it's really going to be worth much trade-wise. It seems to be dropping a lot. And the armor is kind of okay. It has resistances, and it might be useful early on, but I'm not sure how many people are going to want to like run this over other pieces, especially considering it only has demon skills. Could be really popular among the demon builds, like the actual people who are doing the like summon builds. But for the ones that are doing like the Eldritch builds or the other build, the Chaos side, probably not as much. Overall, though, it's just a really good set. It really is. It's a absolutely insane set, and it makes a lot of the other like class sets like Griswolds and like Mavinas and Talrosses. It kind of makes all the other ones look like poopy by comparison, don't they? I feel like the other sets need to be touched on and buffed up a little bit to kind of compete with this, because this set's ridiculous. It's ridiculously good. Kind of too good, to be perfectly honest. I feel like they might need to tone it back a little bit. I guess we'll find out if they ever do any changes to this set. That'll be an interesting thing to find out. I think that's pretty much it with this set, though. As always, I do appreciate you guys and gals watching. Let me know what you guys think about the set down in the comments. I'm interested to hear what you got to say. As always, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe button if you're enjoying everything. And keep watching.